guys, Jerry here from the WrestleSlam podcast, joined this week by our usual Thursday night, Friday night guests. If you're watching this live, Phil Meltzer and Matt the Fact Murphy. Guys, how was the week? How are we?
Very good. Editing away, but all good.
Big news this week. We'll talk some interesting news this week before we get into the wrestling. Conor McGregor has been rumored to be well, it's not a rumor, it's actually official now that he's going to appear in a Roadhouse movie remake with Jake Gyllenhaal. Are you surprised that he's going to go into movies before he went into wrestling? Just to mention wrestling in this part of the show. I
think he's going to take any opportunity he gets. Is this the same one that Ronda Rousey's rumored?
She was rumored back in 2017, I think. She was rumored to be in a remake, but it didn't happen.
But I'm guessing this is a cameo part. This is not like.
From what I read, it's actually going to be a actually major role in it. I'm not sure.
Maybe the bouncer guy, because that's the only other role I can imagine.
Well, it's not definitely. I don't think it can be the Sam Elliott, his best friend character. I don't think that would work out because I just don't see him being like Sam Elliott in the original with Patrick Swayze was the older friend with the. The 5 o'clock shadow and the more senior dude who, showed him the ways kind of thing. Like, I don't think Conor McGregor can be that kind of character. Not with Jake Gyllenhaal's about 10 years older than him, is he?
He would be. Yeah, he would be.
I mean, Conor McGregor got the kicks for it anyway. He's got the kicks to
the road. The plot line is Jake Gyllenhaal's character in it is going to be a former UFC fighter turned bouncer. So I'm presuming Conor's going to be, doing some training with him or doing some sparring and getting ready for certain things. I don't know what they're going to be doing. Like, well, it's presuming they're going to have to roll in the first place.
The first montage scene is he's teaching Jake Gyllenhaal how to steal as much cheese as he can. Cheese. Come on, Jake. Here's cheese.
Do you think McGregor will be a good fit in WWE the way, you see Logan Paul now and Bad Bunny and people like that who, Logan Paul's a big dude, but Bad Bunny is not as big as most people. McGregor, a larger than life character, but not so big. Would he fit in?
I think. Go on. No, it's okay.
I can only see McGregor kind of like doing just sitting in the front row, being called out by one of the wrestlers, and he's just like having none of it. Like, I can't really see him in WWE. I mean, like, Logan Paul is here as well, so, stranger things can happen. But just the comments that Conor made about WWE, about calling them just a bunch of pussies, and he said that fair play to CM Punk, at least, so he had promising things, but he wouldn't, I don't know if he still watches or keeps up with WWE, but we won't be surprised if we see him down the line making a guest appearance in WWE. Can't say that he'll sign a contract, though.
No, not in the contract. Just in general, show up at a WrestleMania or a pay-per-view or something like that, just as a once-off. Even maybe if they're going to hype this Roadhouse remake, maybe in a year or two down the line, whenever it's ready to be, shown, they normally have these, spots for movies, maybe someone show up from the movie, they show up in it.
I think what you do with him is you put him in Becky and Seth Rollins versus Ronda and McGregor. But Seth Rollins as the architect.
Yeah, I don't know. Becky and Seth had that partnership already on TV, and it kind of ruined them for a fucking few months whenever they teamed up with each other and went off against Lacey Evans and Corbin that time a couple of years back. I'm not sure if that's the way to go with them. People don't like couples in wrestling for some reason. Not since Macho Man and Elizabeth, anyway.
Yeah, there's not many really good couples in wrestling.
No, they look at the reaction Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti are getting, same with Cody and Brandy, it kind of fizzled out.
Jay, we're still counting down days when you and Liz sign for WWE. That'll change the whole thing. Now everyone's up for a couple of wrestling.
I would rather sign for AEW. Even under Triple H, I would still sign for AEW. Speaking of Triple H, first episode of Raw under the new era, the game era, as it's being called online at the moment until they find out what they actually call it, went off without a hitch, really. 2.2 million viewers, not that we care about them over here. It's a an American audience thing. They love the ratings and demographics and shit. Like, but did you watch the full 3 hours of Raw?
You know what? I actually did.
Yeah, me too. For the first time in about 10 years.
Yeah, and there wasn't much fast forward. Well, I've already had, but there wasn't much forwarding.
There was stuff happened like that made sense, that led to something.
That's exactly it. It was the most structured show I've seen in a while.
Matt, did you watch it or watch it the next day? Or
I watched it the next day. And it's kind of funny, we're going to talk about Raw at this time. Most of us here actually watched it. It's a really bizarre time with the game.
I think this must be the first time we're on a podcast talking about Raw and actually haven't watched it all.
Once upon a time. So lads, we're going to talk about Raw. Now, we're going to talk about Raw. Oh, here we go.
Good.
Okay.
It's good times though, isn't it?
It's great times. But, next week there now, right? Raw's in Cleveland, Johnny Gargano's hometown.
And
Ciampa's fighting for a belt. Yeah. I just don't want to revisit. I don't want to revisit that feud.
Well, they mightn't have to revisit the feud if he comes out and saves him.
Yeah, maybe. That could be an option.
Could be an option. Triple H loves Ciampa. Like, Ciampa's a great heel. He was a great heel in NXT, like, but
there's a lot of rumors about a lot of things happening on Raw in the next few weeks, but I'll take it as a grain of salt until I see them.
Oh yeah.
The big one was Hurt Business might be coming back.
Mm.
I'm not sure how I feel about it because now the hotness of the whole angle is gone.
Yeah, Bobby Lashley needs to stay face.
Yeah.
Matt, you're gonna.
For the Hurt Business, I can't see them actually returning somewhere. Like you said, with Bobby Lashley being face. I mean, and I also can't see the Hurt Business being a face stable. To me, they were always just like, they were meant to be like a top heel stable like in WWE before they broke up. Like, so, but since we got Triple H in control, he might make it work somehow. But at the moment, I think we're happy with Bobby Lashley, the position he is in with the United States Championship, which with one promo they made interesting and Jesus again. So
again, for the first time in about 10 years, that they did something decent with it.
The only thing about Raw that I wasn't a fan of was a lot of non-finishes.
It was shenanigans in a few matches, like, but I think they needed that, like, especially with Bianca and Io Shirai. You didn't want to beat Io Shirai in her first match on the main roster, and you can't beat Bianca. It doesn't make sense to beat her, even without outside interference. Like, she doesn't need to be taking pins. But again, that's the old cliche of, it's a shitty finish. If it's a false finish, why book the match in the first place? So they could have had a tag team match or something. Like, but interested to see where the feud goes, like with Asuka and Alexa Bliss being involved in it. Now it seems like maybe there's a chance to bring back the tag titles, the women's tag titles with
looks
all
like
these women now.
Yeah, definitely looks like.
With the talks of Sasha and Naomi partly of signing new contracts and maybe on the verge of coming back.
I don't know. Should Sasha be on Bayley's side?
Depends. Like, they may keep them apart. If they're going to keep the roster separate, they could stay on SmackDown. Like, I'm not sure.
That's true.
SmackDown does need more talent there.
And hopefully they fix Raquel Gonzalez on SmackDown.
Just stop smiling.
Yes, just badass. Like, I think.
Well, they got Kai there now, so maybe they'll stick her on that team as well, like, because she apparently was supposed to be part of that Bayley stable as well last year before Vince shot it down.
I mean, I did hear that apparently Vince is not a fan of the controlled stable with Bayley and Io Shirai, and he's not on board with Becky being a face. But then I think all of us like, Vince, you made up your mind. You're retired. Just sit down and just take it like a grain of salt, like we all did when he was in control, tossing us stuff that we don't like. And now it's only fair that he watches things that he doesn't like. So
how good would the reality show be if they had a camera inside that household for Thanksgiving dinner and they're all sitting around giving thanks that Vince retired and we're allowed to book all NXT talent? People are getting Vince must hate what, I don't know whether he's sitting at home watching the product or what, or is he just fucking retired and he's just fucked off somewhere, or what's he doing? Like, but surely he knows what's going on, and everything he shot down now is being put on TV within a matter of weeks. Surely he'd be looking down his nose at them. Why are you doing this?
Who was saying it? Was someone was saying the other day they think Vince is still involved. I don't think he is. He's definitely.
I'm sure he's fucking in the background trying to fucking ring people, like, but at the end of the day, they have to, you block his number and just get on with the fucking show.
Yeah, so everything from him is removed. Like, there's nothing, his name, nothing in background.
Nothing.
Yeah, I think I know that Tim, if you're watching this, I have to bring him up. But Logan Paul said in his recent podcast, Triple H, when he first signed with WWE, Vince was always there in a good position. When Vince was gone, he felt like a different kind of vibe backstage. Kind of felt like everyone was more comfortable who they were instead of having Vince around the place. So literally, once you walk in, when it was Vince's era, it's like you kind of feel a bit of a tension. But apparently now that Triple H is there, Triple H knows who everyone is, kind of feels more freeing. So I'm not going to compare to AEW, but like
I'm glad you brought that up, because that was the next thing I was going to move on to. That Brock Lesnar apparently after the match went back to Gorilla and got a standing ovation and got hugs off Stephanie and Triple H after the match with Roman after SummerSlam, which is, a strange thing to hear. You don't really hear Brock even go back to hug Vince, like, even though how much he said he loved him, like, you never really saw videos of it. The only time you ever saw him really going back to Gorilla was him fucking the belt at him a couple of years ago. So that's nice to hear that Triple H and Brock get along enough that they're hugging backstage, and Triple H thanked him for a great match and stuff. So who knows what'll happen with Brock in the future, like.
That's the thing. And even there, I've noticed, even you probably noticed as well, but the commentary is so much better as well.
Yeah,
it flows nicely.
It's because the commentators, they constantly would have Vince in their ear like about every minute. But make sure you say this, sponsor this, sponsor. I think now with Triple H is like, this can be like less of that. They want to let the good commentators kind of like say what they want to say, but of course focus on what exactly has been given to them. Like
that, and also they've loosened up promos as well.
Yeah, so they're going to allow them to ad lib and throw out whatever. Like there'll be bullet points going forward, I think, more than a full fucking script that they have to word for word remember, which is stupid on live TV. Anybody that's on live TV and normal channels, like on any other show, that they've got a teleprompter telling them what they say. Like, it's one of the few mediums where you have to fucking remember a full script.
Yeah, I think I know this is like a random thing that Matt's thinking of right now, but I remember John Moxley, Dean Ambrose, he came out and he was cutting a promo, and there was one stage where he says, and I'm gonna face you at this pay-per-view, I can't think of what it is, for the WWE Network for $9.99, and there was a pause. Looking back on it, you're just like crowing, like, they had to have him.
Thank fuck they're not doing that shit anymore.
Yeah, it was so bad.
Lastly, before we finish up on the news, we'll move on to AEW Dynamite, so hold on to your horses there. Becky Lynch is injured. Obviously, we found out that she was injured during the match with Bianca, and she separated her shoulder. No confirmation that she's going for surgery or not, or she's going to be out for a few weeks or months.
Months.
Yeah, well, if it is surgery, they're saying it could be up to 6 months. So, in around the Royal Rumble time, maybe she comes back, wins the Royal Rumble, or comes back along with Cody. They're all due back around the same time now at this stage. So, what?
People absolutely love the man gimmick, so I can envision her winning the Royal Rumble, all right.
When I saw that rumor that she may be back in time for the Royal Rumble, I was thinking she comes out number 30 or something and eliminates Ronda, who was looking like she's after eliminating 10 people or something, and she was going on to win it, and Becky eliminates her and sets up their match for WrestleMania. No title needed.
No,
that
would be perfect. And it'll only be a matter of time before we know Triple H is booking the show if he does something like that, because
they could eliminate each other or something. They don't not Becky doesn't need to win the Royal Rumble. She's won it already either. Like, so there's plenty of talent out there who could earn fucking their rights to win it for the next fucking 5 months. Push them the roster.
Yeah, I agree. Because personally, for so long I just wasn't a fan of big time Bex. I would think we're just trying so hard to actually kind of like get into the gimmick, but there's so many times just like we don't know what Vince or whoever's backstage is controlling it. So I think by popular demand, now that we have Triple H backstage and he loves listening to the fans, give them what they want,
Yeah.
and as the man.
It's a shame that she's going to be injured and she's not going to get a chance to reap the benefits of becoming the man again. You know, at face her and then actually disappearing for months at a time. So it'll be some pop when she comes back though.
I believe.
I could still see Becky Lynch being a heel, but still playing as the man gimmick at least.
I think they're going to push her in the full face.
Yeah.
Triple H.
She'll end up in SmackDown again if and unless Bianca drops the titles between now and WrestleMania. I'm not sure whether she will or not. I don't see anybody out there at the minute ready to beat her.
Bailey's the only one that would beat her.
Yeah, but it's too soon. Like she's only back, and I can't see her beating her straight away. It's actually, when mentioning that spot, did you notice that Io Shirai and Asuka were kept apart, even though there was a lot of stuff going on? They never actually touched each other. You know,
that was a weird.
They kept them apart. I'm wondering if they keep them apart for a reason, though. They
might have done. You never know. Like, I don't think they have any heat between them.
No, I wouldn't say so. I'd say
it's an odd one. Just before we go on there as well, there's 2 bits of NXT news I want to talk about.
Go for it.
Did you see JD McDonough and the thing with the blood?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Stabbed himself with the pain.
So this is
stabbing himself with the pain and then writing it in his own blood. Obviously he has no hope of winning the match.
I don't know. I don't know what's the story with Braun Breaker now going forward, because he was supposed to come up to the main roster a few months ago.
Yeah.
Dropped the title. They were saying he was going to come up, but I don't know. Is he the type of Triple H wants on the main roster? Because he's not one of his NXT guys.
But still, though, he's got something.
I think JD. I'm going to call him Jordan Devlin because I can't say JD McDonough. It's just too fucking cliche. But Devlin would definitely fit under the Triple H regime because, you know, he shined under him before. He shined under him in NXT UK and he came on and won the Cruiserweight title. And he had the Cruiserweight title when he lost that ladder match to Santos, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a hell of a fucking match.
I know.
Speaking of cruiserweights, do you reckon Triple H will rebrand it on SmackDown as like the old days?
I don't know if they need a cruiserweight division. I don't know if they need any more titles, do they?
I don't know, but add something to the show. Like,
I think they should keep it on NXT because I know a lot of people who used to love the old NXT is kind of giving up on NXT. I'm one of those people, unfortunately. I would see them keep on this NXT. So maybe at least they have some exciting for people to tune in, like so.
Yeah. I suppose the other bit of news then was Ilya Dragunov relinquished his belt on tonight's show because we're recording this on Thursday.
Does it say what's wrong? What is it? Is it concussion or?
Saying he was injured for now, but like I'm assuming it must be a bad injury.
Shame, like, because I'm not sure what's going on with Cardiff. I don't know if NXT UK are going to have any representation in Clash of the Castle, or are they going to have a show in around that time? Because, you know, it's a UK pay-per-view. I'm sure they'd be involved somewhere.
There should be a showcase match on it for.
Yeah, because Pete Dunne put up a tweet during the week. You know, he called himself Pete Butch Dunne, like he was just going as Butch for a while. So I'm wondering, has he got his gimmick back? Is he going to show up in NXT UK again? You know, maybe there's a tournament for the title maybe now after this?
They did announce a tournament.
Oh, they? Oh, brilliant.
They did, yeah. So let's see who's in it, because I have it here a second ago. Oliver Carter, Charlie Dempsey, Wolfgang, Trent Seven, Kenny Williams, Joe Coffey, Mark Andrews, and Tyler Bate.
That's a good stack. Really good stack.
So that'll happen over the final of this should happen on Clash of the Champions, but it won't because these are pre-recorded.
It's already happened, is it?
Yeah, the tournament's over. So I was kind of hoping that it wouldn't be, but it is.
It'll be nice, even if like whoever wins that tournament, that on the pay-per-view Clash of the Castle, that, you know, that person gets to defend the NXT UK title on the pay-per-view. That will, you know, that's something they should be doing now.
Yeah. Tag belts even. Yeah, anything
Anything at all, really. Like,
Oh, yeah,
we
yeah,
showcase on NXT UK to a wider audience. It
yeah.
should be. Because nobody watches it. I'm honest, like, I haven't watched it in fucking, I got rid of the WWE Network fucking probably before the pandemic, so I haven't watched NXT UK other than Walter and Dragunov's couple of matches. I haven't actually watched the full episode of NXT UK in ages. So
Yeah, it's not as good as it was. I think now we're talking one good match a month, maybe.
yeah, you always hear about that match, don't you? One match.
The odd match, yeah.
I mean, I'm good for like if they actually do like an NXT crossover at least, because like we all said, it's like we don't watch NXT these days. So if they bring like not all of NXT and NXT UK on Clash of Titans, Clash of I mispronounced the name so badly.
Castle.
Castle, cheers lad. Castle. I can see them like coming on just so more people, since this would be a big pay-per-view, more people will be tuning into what's on NXT, and of course NXT UK with the reputation as well, like not just relying on Drew McIntyre.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that there's going to be NXT UK guys on Survivor Series.
I should hope so. Like even some like the Brooks and Jensen from NXT in America are actually UK tag team champions, aren't they?
Yeah.
And Roderick Strong was on
Roderick
NXT.
Strong was on it for a few weeks.
Ivy Nile was on it there a few weeks
and
ago.
then tonight, I think tonight as well, you have Saray versus
oh yeah, I saw that actually.
Nico.
Yeah, surprised that match has not been hyped up even more.
Yes, so Saray's had 2 title shots this week. Did she fight Mandy as well the other night?
Well, it wasn't non-title, it was just a non-title match.
Yeah, so I'm ashamed, like, because there is really talented guys on the show. It's just not
it's not produced in a way much like.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best way to put it.
Okay, so before we get into Dynamite, just we're going to talk about our sponsors this week. This week is brought to you by Surfshark. This episode is brought to you by Surfshark VPN. A VPN is a tool that improves your online privacy and protects you from hackers. How?
Well, a VPN, or a virtual private network, it actually hides your IP address, so it acts like a shield. So everything you do online will stay private. So whether you are flicking through the news, or maybe you're streaming some of your favorite shows, or listening to any podcast in particular, such as the WrestleSlam podcast, you name it, you can view it online. You feel totally safe, and from pretty much over 100 countries in the world. So you're virtually traveling the world from the comfort of your own home. There's nothing worse than when you click in and it says, oh, not available in your country. Not anymore with Surfshark VPN.
I've been in Thailand, so I could actually switch back to the RT player back home. So it was good because I could watch the Late Show and RT and all that fun stuff.
Everybody watches a lot of Netflix these days. You know, there's always stuff on Netflix that you can't actually access in Ireland. For some reason, the Irish market doesn't have as much access to stuff as Australia and UK and even America. So I'm watching Archer at the moment on Netflix. It's up to season 10. Season 11 isn't available in Ireland, but season 12 is. So I've stopped watching it because I don't have season 11. But thankfully, with Surfshark, you can actually change the country. I'm going to do that today. Change to USA, and it's actually going to pop up there, and I can
100%. And for shopping, there's always things that are not available in other places, not with Surfshark VPN. It is so handy, particularly now we're coming to the end of summer and into fall and autumn. Need to start getting ready for that Christmas shopping. So the fact that we can now have access to even more products, payday is going to be the most fun day of the year.
I used VPN before, but of course, Surfshark is definitely where it's at. Of course, we are living in a bit of a scary world out there. There's people out there trying to get any information they can from us, be it our personal stuff, be it our work stuff, and we need to protect ourselves, lads. And like Willa says, it's like one massive shield around your privacy, around your own life, around your own laptop, and Surfshark will prevent any of those. We recommend you just check out Surfshark. Definitely is where it's at.
Not only laptops, smart TVs, Fire Sticks, phones. Surfshark is actually the only VPN provider that offer one account for all your devices. So you don't have to have multiple accounts, one account. Try Surfshark today totally risk-free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So you get Surfshark VPN at surfshark.deal/WrestleSlam. Enter the promo code WrestleSlam and get 83% off and 3 extra months free. Yeah, 3 extra months free and 83% off. That's a huge deal. So thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring this episode. Be sure to check them out again. Now, AEW Dynamite this week. We're heading into next week's episode, which is called Quake at the Lake.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of build up towards this special episode of Dynamite. What do you think of this episode? First of all,
overall, it wasn't bad. There's a couple of things on it that I'm not a fan of. That Vince McMahon line is just doesn't do it for me.
It's always low hanging fruit. You have to go back to the competition.
But
I besides the line, I thought that this was a coming of age match for the Acclaimed.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's their best match I've seen. I mean,
totally, yeah.
I was going to say something there now because I was in my head about Orange Cassidy kicked off the show. He's so since that Will Ospreay match, he's gone back in my head again, has been kind of lingering.
They used to protect him an awful lot.
Yeah,
they haven't protected him in a while, and we lost the Wardlow, and this is a whole lead up for fucking Jay Lethal getting a title match. But it's a shame that Orange Cassidy isn't protected more, even though he's a smaller guy. Like, he's still way over. Like, it's Darby Allin, similar way Darby Allin's not protected anymore either.
Yeah, I don't want to go into him because he's the biggest. I think he's the biggest disaster of 2022. Darby Allin. I think he's just had such a poor year, and I think we've talked about so many times, the Sting thing doesn't work for him.
Matt?
Of Darby Allin. No, because when you mentioned Darby Allin, it's like, I'm going to be going to Dublin Comic-Con on the Sunday. So if I see either a cosplayer Darby Allin or actual Darby Allin, I'm like, right, at a convention, there's Darby Allin. This is going to suck for you, lad. We're all in the videos. But I'm really I liked this past Dynamite. I thought it was going to be like, oh, they're going to try and like outdo WWE with Triple H being in control, but I really liked this episode. It was really
good.
Yeah, and I really captured. So I'm actually invested to see what's going to happen with AEW Quake at the Lake. Say that 10 times after this perfect build-up. That
actually, now to mention it, is Battle of the Belts on Saturday?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and also there's a special edition of Dark on this evening.
Yeah, I'm so confused with what's going on. Like,
just speaking of kind of just TV shows, because I was just thinking about now. Do you reckon AEW are going to be in trouble because Warner Brothers are making cuts across the board?
Well, they were saying that originally when they took over, there was going to be cutbacks.
Yeah, but there's massive ones in the last 3 days, I think.
I'm not sure. I don't think so. They're regularly the number one, even though their numbers aren't over 1 million. Like, they're still number one on cable. Like, their demos are always up there, so it's hard to just cut somebody.
But I know that, but like, they filmed Batgirl and they spent over 100 million on it, and it's been pulled.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's worrying a little bit. But the thing is, like, if they were suddenly cut from that channel, surely somebody would pick them up.
I'm sure they have a backup plan. Sure. Somewhere.
And it was just something that was in my head. It's just something that kind of, I wouldn't be surprised if I heard the news that there was cutbacks and they cut back the show a bit. Wouldn't surprise me.
I don't know. Maybe there's a reason why they're not really.
Well, HBO Max now is in trouble as well. That might be pulled.
Really?
Yeah. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on at Warner Brothers.
Like, streaming's the future. Like, it's been the future for the last 5 or 6 years. Like, all these streaming services. I don't watch TV channels anymore. We have, a few channels here. Like, I can't remember last time I actually turned on a TV station. Like, and actually sat down and watched something.
Sure, we only have them for the matches.
Yeah, but that's it. Like, unless you're watching a match or Sky Sports News or something like that. There's some transfers or something happen.
Yeah.
I don't watch normal TV at all, unless I'm somebody else's house and they're watching something.
Man United is the only thing I'd watch.
Don't say that out now. Sorry, people, if you're watching this, you don't have to watch Man United just because I'm a Man United fan as well, but it doesn't mean I'm going to sit down and watch every match this season because, sometimes you'll go back and watch reruns of 3 hours of Raw from 2020.
2014, yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We'll go back on the Dynamite there quickly. A few other things happened that was significant on this episode was the women's, the female tag team match happened in the first hour, not in the designated spot, before the main event.
That's good.
They got great time, great match, great for Jamie Hayter to get the win. Some good spots in this match. Well, Matt, what do you think of it?
Really good. A really good pay-per-view. It was good to see Jamie Hager actually winning this one. I can definitely see her down the line getting a good run for the title anyway, because I feel like after this match, I feel like AEW really is pushing towards her. So hopefully
she's getting the title match now, isn't she?
Jamie Hayter's on back to the belts on Saturday.
So I'm pulling for her for this one now. So it was I've always been a fan of her. Can't wait to see what they're going to do next with her after this match.
She's very over for a heel. She could be a face pretty soon. Maybe Brett could turn on her, and they'll get that feud.
I think that's the way to do it. Actually, did you see Ronda Rosa's t-shirt standby?
Yeah. Brilliant. I don't know if they're on the shop yet or if they're on sale, but they would definitely sell out.
Yeah, 100%.
Speaking of somebody else's t-shirt might sell out, Jungle Boy's t-shirt of Christian as a pussy. It's sold out in 5 minutes.
It has so many double meanings. It's hilarious.
This match wasn't it wasn't advertised at all. Really, I didn't see anything online about it being even happening on Dynamite. It was just there, and I was like, oh, really? Why isn't this not a bigger deal?
And they usually do advertise all.
Especially with two legends like Hardy and Christian, their history, they've teamed up on AEW and they've had their run-ins, but why not advertise this as a bigger deal?
Also, as well, why are they trying to make him like a Steve Austin type character? Jungle Boy with trying to kill him and knock him down, and
Jungle Man.
We pitched that idea for so long. Jungle Man. He's now. How old is he now? He's 25.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
he's nearly the same age as you, man.
He's still a young man.
Same age as you, boy.
I was just saying, you're still young, boy. You're still young. And then he'll get turned to you. He's you're older than me by a year. But show up again.
Did you notice actually something going back to what I said about Asuka and Io? Christian and Luchasaurus, they still haven't had any confrontation. You think, are they holding this off? Maybe they're planting seeds. Maybe Luchasaurus still hasn't officially turned.
Maybe the pay-per-view?
Because he's still wearing all black and he still has his own entrance music, which is dark and stuff so.
Now that you say that, I reckon it'll be the pay-per-view because I think Christian needs to win.
Oh, he does, yeah.
Yeah. I just thought right now, but when Luchasaurus came out, I literally thought Kane made his AEW debut. I was like, wait, what you say? Oh no, wait, that's Luchasaurus. For a brief moment.
Possible. Pity. It's a pity that Kane wasn't a bit younger and he wasn't still active. That would have been a cool thing to see the two masked boys go at it, who aren't luchadors as in the terms of being luchadors.
But I definitely think there's something in that, right? That they're not touching. There's definitely something.
Yeah, I not going back to his black or his green fucking mask with his green fucking tongue. They haven't. It's the old cliche. If you're heel, you have to wear all black or turn black or whatever.
I think they're saving it because of what happened in the next kind of segment with Adam Cole.
Yeah, big shock match. Big shock.
We knew it was coming, but I didn't think it was this soon.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to happen that soon. Especially when it was their first night back, and they're still, not medically cleared. So.
Yeah, it's that kid crying over us.
Oh, stop that.
Brilliant. You've got Ms. Girl. You've got that other girl from Becky Lynch last year.
Yeah.
Now you got this kid crying, and your dude who was crying at CM Punk when he made his return.
Oh yeah, that guy, Mexican guy. Yeah.
That child is going to be a legend forever.
I mean, there's always going to be one legend when it comes to reaction, and that's the guy reacting at WrestleMania to Undertaker's streak being broken. He just was on. I'll do the face, but he just made a straight up face. That was such a.
It was such a really good segment, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good, very well done.
Yeah.
Do you think is it going to be Hangman in the box? Do you think that's going to be a thing, or
it has to be?
Because from what I've heard, Omega is pretty much close to coming back. He could be back by All Out, or come back at All Out. And if he comes back, does he come back and team up with the Bucks and not Hangman, or does he come back with Gallows and Anderson, or what happens there?
That's very intriguing.
I can see him come back teaming up with Hangman and the Young Bucks, and just bring back like the Elite, and maybe that Kenny's just going to turn them down the line and join with Adam Cole. But I can see at the moment it's going to be the Elite returning, and Cody Rhodes is going to show up somewhere because fake logic.
Well, like I mentioned, the Gallows and Anderson, they're gone from Impact, aren't they? They're out of contract, aren't they?
Oh, they signed a new contract.
Did they sign a new one?
They had no choice. I think they were, in fact, were forced into it because they lost Briscoes and another team.
Right. I thought they were gone.
So they basically have no tag teams. So they're like, lads, can you stay around? I don't know how long it is. I reckon it's Bound for Glory, maybe.
Normally 6 months, isn't it? Normally that's the way they do things.
Yeah. But yeah, then they have a special as well coming up next week.
Impact, another special.
Another special.
Brand new information. They never have specials.
Every 2 weeks.
Fuck. You know what? Put on as many shows as you can, because the pandemic stopped a lot of shit. So everybody's getting out there and getting their fucking time. And so, more to it. More wrestling, the better. Even though we don't get to watch all of it. Keep it coming. That includes all the Irish shows that are happening at the moment. So best of luck to all those. And OTT actually announced today officially their first show in Derry.
Yeah,
just 15 minutes away from my hometown.
I heard that there's going to be a bus going from Dublin for people who can't get there.
Well, Colin, who was on the podcast with us this year already, from Kicking It Out, he is trying to organise a bus for Belfast. I'm not sure if that went ahead or not, but I'm sure him and the lads are trying to organise one for Derry as well, because there's a good enough trek from Dublin.
It's 4 hours.
A fucking trek from here, because I've driven it a few times. Like, wouldn't be 4 hours from Dublin. No, you can get there in like maybe 2.5, 3 hours if you.
It's about 6 from here, is it?
Well, it's 15 minutes from where I'm from, so maybe 5.5 hours.
It's still quite long.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Long for the talent if they're traveling as well.
Also, as well, just speaking of OTT, they have Dublin Comic-Con. They have a few matches.
They have, man. They have.
And Matt, you're attending.
I know Matt's attending. Yeah.
I'm actually attending like randomly. I was like, everyone said to me, "So you're buzzing for Comic-Con for yourself?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's happening." So, definitely have to check out OTT. Cannot wait for the matches.
Have you any matches in store that you're excited for? Are you going specifically if they see anybody, or?
Definitely going to see LJ Cleary. He's actually just going to be bringing the house down apparently. So I hope that we're going to have OTT's going to have a good turnout. I know there's going to be like, probably non-wrestling fans just going to be wandering in and seeing what the big one is. But like, just knowing that OTT is going to get their name out there in such a random event like Comic-Con is just going to say something. So I'm buzzing. See it.
The most important question, Matt, is what are you dressing up as?
I'm gonna be dressing up as a superhero who's works as a videographer, but by night he's a wrestling podcaster, and he's actually not ashamed to show the bald head. He's just gonna be called Mick or Matt or something down those lines. So keep an eye out.
Matt Parker.
Matt Wayne.
Newspaper photographer by day. Web slaver by day.
Yeah, just wrestling podcast by he just sprays webs for no apparent reason like every 2 minutes.
Okay, shout out. What's your superhero name?
Superhero name. Working on it, but let's just say called the Masked Man. That'd be something.
There's an app or there's a website that you can actually make up your own superhero name.
I'll just use that as like that app and just be like, someone's gonna come to me, it's like, who you dressed up as? And I'm like, I'm actually the Night Wanderer. Actually, it says so on this superhero app.
Oh.
I feel like Jared's looking it up right
I'm
now.
going to get your superhero name there, and you have to go with that. You have to get a name tag and go to Comic-Con in Dublin and go to the OTT guys and say your superhero name and get it on camera.
Oh.
What's your favorite animal?
On the spot, you know what? I'm going to have to say I'm boring. I'm going to say a dog.
Good man.
I swear to God, if it comes up as dog man or wolf man, I'm gonna be.
Let's see.
Is Phil also doing this?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. The way Phil just responded, like, is Phil doing it? Yeah.
Dum.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this, there's some serious.
Joseph Jones, aka Photos Man.
Perfect. Photos man.
Photos Man.
I will have my fucking camera on me. So
Or Thomas Garcia, Dog Man.
All right, let's go with Photo Man right now.
Oh, this one. Joshua Rodriguez, Dr. Photos.
That seems like my super villain name.
Professor Track.
Yeah.
What does everyone else prefer here? Which out of all those
what about Mr. Photograph? Mr. Photo.
You're in the same occupation as me, Phil, for God's sake.
I'm only saying that your bald head is like Mr. X.
Dr. Photo. Oh, hang on, Professor Trail.
Professor X.
Oh God, I can imagine I was like wandering, just dressed up as myself, and like someone's saying, "Who you dressed up as?" Like, I'm Photo Man, and then
I got it.
Like, in the exact same
I got
outfit.
it.
Like,
Fact Man.
There you go.
Did you say Fat Man?
Fact.
Matt Fact, Murphy.
Matt Fact.
Oh right, that's slightly better. Oh God, but yeah, I'm gonna be there for a brief time. So whoever's attending Comic-Con on the 7th, feel free to say hi to me and a high five.
Just there for one day, Sunday, is it?
I'm just there for one day, Sunday, at a limited time because I've only got the general entry, so I'll be there about like 12 or so, possibly going to be gone by 4. So if you catch me a brief time, I will be hanging out with the OTT, seeing the matches there, and of course I'm going to be there, the trade hall, hang out, and I'm going to have my camera. I'm putting together a project regarding Dublin Comic-Con, but still say hi to me and high five, and we'll talk about pops.
Yeah, if you see him around, just shout out "Fact Man," and he'll come save you.
Just some breaking news there, because I read some breaking news on wrestling. The Impact special show that's coming up is going to be produced by Road Dogg, apparently.
Wow.
He's
got a job.
He's just doing that show for now. He said he was sitting down in the back going down some shows and stuff. So maybe it's a tryout, maybe. But I know that he's been pestering for a job off Tony.
You could say something like that.
Oh, you didn't know. You didn't know.
But yeah,
his ass must have called somebody.
According to Sean Ross Sapp, he'll be in Chicago for the Impact special, which actually I'm really looking forward to, because Alex Shelley and Josh Alexander should be a banger of a match.
Yeah, should be a good match.
And I wasn't here on Monday, but for the show on Monday, but I do want to say that Jacob Fatu and Alexander had a stellar match on Sunday night.
Yeah, we actually didn't talk. We didn't talk much. We focused solely on really SummerSlam, so we didn't actually mention Ric Flair's last match pay-per-view at all, really, or the roast of Ric Flair, which was, car crash TV at his finest.
Tori Wilson was brilliant on it.
Yeah, some of the people like Becky Guerrero got an awful thing, but she was pretty good. I loved Bully Ray. He didn't want to slit anybody. He didn't want to roast anybody.
Eric Bischoff was bizarre.
Yay!
What was he on about?
He pulled out the manscape.
Oh god, I feel like Eric Bischoff got the good taste and sponsorship. To be fair, so
Brilliant.
But no, I just kind of wanted to mention that because the Ric Flair show was generally good, but Rick himself, I don't really want to talk about it because it was that uncomfortable.
No, it's best to leave it alone because
leave it alone.
It's done now. That's his last match. He's never coming back in the ring again after that.
It's a shame if there was a draw, but we'll leave it there.
Are you saying that leave the memories alone, lads?
Leave the memories alone.
Leave the memories alone.
Oh.
Right.
But no, I think Jacob Fatu should definitely be signed up. I don't know how long his MLW stuff is.
Yeah, he's fucking gifted.
Yeah, he's brilliant. He's really
gifted.
Yeah.
So agile for his size, isn't he?
And only like 28, 29.
Is that all he is?
Yeah, that's all he is.
Crazy.
So I'd love to see him now come whenever the deal is up.
He was in the right place to showcase his talent. I don't know. I don't think the Taker and all them lads, Mick Foley and Brett and all were there ringside for the whole show. So I don't know much of the show they actually got, but I'm hoping they got to see some of that match because that was a.
I think Taker was there. Taker was there for the whole night.
Was he that the whole night?
Yeah, they showed him like after match 2 or something.
All right.
I just like me and my brother were watching it and we were thinking this show is this is the safest wrestling show you'll ever see because it was like they're all a part of other companies.
Yeah.
So nobody wants to get injured.
Yeah.
They're all like safe matches, but they were decent to good matches.
Yeah, but there were matches that
held back basically.
There were people who weren't going to remember them to come because they were only there for Ric Flair's last match. Like the rest of it, that's the main event. Nobody's overshadowing Ric Flair in his last.
Only thing I will say just about this is the last thing I'd say about the show is Tony Schiavone should be ashamed of himself for his attitude. Did you see it? No,
what happened?
He was like, he was doing this through the whole kind of anytime he was on camera. It came across to me like he didn't give a shit.
I don't know. Him and Ric Flair go back a long time. I'm sure he was fucking.
But it just looked really, really awkward and really weird. And I wasn't impressed with it. But in saying that, I don't know the story, so I'm not going to go into it. Like there could be a lot of reasons why that was the case. But it was like that time, do you remember years ago when Chris Jericho came to Inside the Ropes where his hands were in his pockets and people paid like hundreds for pictures. And all the pictures, like Jericho had his hands in his pockets.
He was pre-telling Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, exactly. But no, there was a lot of people upset about that.
Yeah, sure. People are going to get upset about fucking little things these days, or even back then. It doesn't really matter. Like
that's it.
You got to meet them. You got a picture with them.
Exactly.
What do you want them hugging them or squeezing their hole or?
Oh yeah, no, but he did it. I think he did in every single photograph. That was the point of it.
That was his pose back then.
It must have been.
Don't touch me.
He was the he was the original. Put your hands in the pocket. Makes you automatically cool.
Speaking of Jericho,
we'll
finish off with Jericho and Wheeler Yuta. We obviously knew Jericho was winning this match. Wheeler wasn't going to win it, but what do you think of it?
That was like what I was saying again. Because it was Jericho, Wheeler Yuta held back. Like he didn't hit him as hard, and he's not doing his kind of stiff matches that he usually does. But the match was still quite good.
Yeah, I got the vibe that Yuta was taking the time to show exactly more what he can do, but this match was straight up Jericho.
Yeah,
Even built up to the last one.
Had to be.
And who's winning this next week?
I want to say Moxley.
No interference, no shenanigans.
No,
Are
but
they all banned from ringside, or
no, I don't think so. I think it's just Lionheart Chris Jericho versus John Moxley. But then he should say, I want to fight. I don't want to fight John Moxley. I want to fight Dean Ambrose.
I want to fight the boy with the pink hair.
Yeah.
I was when I watched the final statement with Chris Jericho, and he was like building up, saying, "You won't just face Chris Jericho. You know what you're gonna face." I was thinking, "Oh no, we don't want to see the Painmaker, not the Painmaker." But then he said line, I was like, "Oh, okay, that's actually more better than if I can wearing just gothic makeup and automatically wearing spikes." But I like to see. I feel like John Mox might win this match, but I feel like if Jericho wins, he's going to make the title more interesting, especially that he's going to have constant backup, and he's going to almost like have a kingpin like style to him. I feel like that he's unstoppable. So at least he'll put like a storyline with the title.
Well, for All Out, if we're hoping Punk is back for All Out, that's the plan. Like, is Punk versus Jericho better than Punk versus Moxley?
I don't think so.
In a storyline perspective.
I think for storyline perspective, for Jericho versus Punk, I don't think they cannot not mention about their past. They won't constantly mention WWE, but they'll keep on saying like, we changed since this time.
Mm-hmm.
But with John Moxley, I could be interesting to see with him, Moxley, and CM Punk.
What? It might be a good idea to give Jericho the belt because John Moxley is just after falling so hard back. He seems to be getting attacked online constantly for these bloodbath matches.
Yeah, you mentioned last week he's still the Game Changer champion.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. So it's a weird one.
I personally think there'll be no harm like for him to at least not get out of AEW, but at least take a break and maybe go back into the death matches and with the title.
Like, does he lose to Jericho and then enter the 3-way tag belts? You know what I mean?
It's hard to know. Like, it depends what they want to do with the future. Like, what their plans were before Punk got injured. Like, what they were planning on doing with Moxley before that. But I just genuinely think, Moxley being a face, he's so over, and Punk coming back, he's going to be so over. It's, it's not a good. Obviously, it's going to be a great match, and we've seen them have matches before in WWE. It'll be a great fucking match as a story point of view. I think Jericho and Punk would be a much better way of getting fans invested, and Punk being.
I think you're right. Exactly. No, you're right. Especially as well if MJF is not coming back.
Yeah, it's just so quickly how quickly Jericho ended up in the title picture after losing a few matches there, up until the JS reformed. Like he wasn't anywhere, and he's the JS isn't it's not the same caliber as the Inner Circle was.
Yeah.
They haven't reached that level yet. When Jericho was champion, so I'm wondering, even if he's champion for a few weeks, to elevate that faction. Having the faction involved in the Punk match, then interfering and Punk almost losing because of returned interference.
I know a lot of people would love this. What I'm saying and what I'm going to say now about if Jericho beat Moxley, and then maybe 6 months down the line, Eddie Kingston beats Jericho. Because that story never finished.
Nah, never did. But I think Kingston's a bit occupied with Sammy Guevara at the minute.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It'll be 6 months down the line. It'll be after the next pay-per-view or the one after.
I feel like I think we need to really keep up with who Eddie Kingston's actually rivaling these days. Because I feel like he's like rivaling this like pick a name out of the hat of the AEW roster. Like Eddie Kingston's rivaling with this person. I think it's so good, but it's like
surely he doesn't lose to Sammy though at the show at this pay-per-view.
Nah, he shouldn't do. Well, it doesn't really hurt Eddie Kingston to lose because Eddie Kingston's Eddie Kingston. He just cuts one of them fucking 20-30 second promos and he gets the biggest pop of the night. Everybody loves him, like, so it doesn't hurt Sammy Guevara to lose either, because he's perfect to be that prick. Like him being a face just didn't work. So
No.
Eddie Kingston, I love him as well, but like I still check my wardrobe every night before I go to bed, so I don't see him a bloody mess holding a petrol can. That moment will always be in back of my mind.
Just before we go there, I just want to end it on some positive news. Jim Duggan was cleared, I think.
Yes.
Of cancer.
39, was it 39 treatments or something?
So I think he has one more left to be like fully clear, given the all clear, but he's pretty much 90% there.
Oh,
I was just gonna say, it was like count of three. We all give our support with Jim Duggan.
everybody do it.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Oh! He's some man, like he's so good.
Yeah, legend. Absolute legend.
First
right, lads. Well, go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
I was just gonna say the first Royal Rumble winner, so no one forget that moment of him.
He'll always be that.
Yeah.
And the first man to knock Yokozuna off his feet.
And the first man knock Yokozuna on his feet.
Right, lads, we'll leave it there. Great week for wrestling. Lots to look forward to. Battle of the Belts, AEW Saturday night, and some big news coming out for next week as well for Quake on the Lake, or whatever they want to call it. But I'm looking forward to SmackDown. First SmackDown under Triple H this Friday tonight. If you're watching this show, it'll be on in a few hours. Looking forward to see what happens there. But we'll catch you Monday for our episode. Tuesday. We record on a Monday. We'll see you Tuesday for our main show. Again, thanks to the sponsor Surfshark for sticking with us. Don't forget, lads, 83% off, 3 extra months free. Surfshark. Use the code WrestleSlam. VPNs are the future for your internet protection. If you're searching for whatever you're searching for, whether it's online shopping, porn, whatever you're into online, if you're looking for TV shows in America, Australia, on Netflix or any other streaming service, and you want to change your location, that's the way to do it. Get on it. Use the code WrestleSlam. Lads, been great talking to you. Matt, Phil, enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you Monday, lads. Have a good one.
Guys.